This is Johnny Nelson, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
All right, everyone. Hope you're all doing fantastic. So when we look back at 2023, obviously there's been a lot of people praising, say, what Eddie Hearn has been doing, what Frank Warren especially has been doing, and whatever else. And boxer Ben Shalom, Sky Sports, seems to have dropped off a little bit, almost forgotten about. Now, that is definitely unfortunate, because I know that Ben Shalom, he does have a lot of ambition, and he really does, and he's very motivated, and he's a boxing fan at heart. But of course, a lot of you won't know about a lot of things that's been going on. Now, unfortunately for them, it hasn't been a great year for them, and in the sense of, what I mean by that is they've had a lot of shows that's been put on and then cancelled, like a Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. You know, that was supposed to have happened, and then it was postponed due to injury and this, that, and the other, and then eventually the fight was pulled. Then you had the rematch with Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith. That had to be rescheduled, I think twice. I think it had to be rescheduled. Then, of course, you had like Adam Azim. He was supposed to headline. Then, of course, he got injured and got replaced by Fraser Clark versus Marius Wack, and so forth and so on. Now, it's very difficult. Of course, it's very difficult. Now, I know some people say, but, well, the purse bid situation with, say, Fraser Clark, and then the other one with like Richard Riakporhe didn't go down too well with boxing fans. But again, you have to remember that the boxer stable is still very, very small. The finances are not what you would think that they are. They're not, in comparison to what Matchroom have been getting, for sure, and to a lesser extent with Queensberry as well. Queensberry's budget has been a lot bigger than Ben Shalom and boxers, even without the Saudi investment. Now, of course, we've got the Saudi investment. Well, that's even more so, isn't it? And I like to think that Ben Shalom and boxer will get themselves on board with this Saudi adventure before Riyadh season closes. So potentially maybe they can get one or two of their fighters on the Tyson Fury undercard. If not, then the Anthony Joshua undercard before Riyadh season closes. Ideally for them, both. Such fighters like a Richard Riakporhe against a Caroline Dubois or a Martin Bacoli, or however, okay? Now, I kind of said it about halfway through the year of last year, that I felt that boxer and Sky Sports pretty much had to write off that year, put it down to like a learning curve and things like that. And again, they've brought in a lot of fighters, like a Martin Bacoli, like a Lawrence Okoli, there's quite a few fighters that they brought in, Joshua Boatsi and things like that, and things haven't really gone to plan, if we're being honest. But that's boxing. You win some, you lose some. And some people say, yeah, but Lawrence Okoli, he's boring, he's no good. He lost to Chris Smith and all that kind of good stuff. But with Joshua Boatsi in that as well, he didn't have a great fight last time out. And again, his fight with Dan Aziz, again, that was a fight that was supposed to have taken place last year. And again, that got pulled, didn't it? But hopefully they kick off 2024 in a good, positive way. Obviously with the Joshua Boatsi and Dan Aziz fight and quite a few others. But of course they've got plenty of fighters out there that could make a big splash this year, like a Lauren Price, like Karis Artenstall, and quite a few others, where they could really, really do something good in boxing. And I know that's something that Ben Shalom would love to do. Now, of course, there are some improvements. There are some things that I feel they could do much, much better. And you know what? I've told Ben Shalom some of the things that I feel they're lacking right now. And he agrees with, on the most part of it. And will they make those kind of changes? Well, you know what? We'll have to wait and see. I don't know exactly who else, because obviously Ben Shalom, he's the head of it all. But ultimately, of course, he's going to have advisors and whatever else. And maybe they'll disagree with some of the things and whatever. Again, it's a team effort. Now, if you've never been to a boxer event, I would strongly suggest that you go. Now, if you've been to a Queensberry one, if you've been to a Matchroom one, as good as what they are, the live fight night in the arena, boxer is the best. And for those of you who have been to boxer events and others, you will agree with me. Now, I'm not saying necessarily on TV, but again, when you're watching on TV, you have to remember that Adam Smith is no longer there. He weren't really there for much of any of last year. So again, his voice and his way of selling a fight and whatever else was sorely, sorely missed. And there's quite a few things that they can do. And I wish Boxer and Ben Shalom all the best, I really do. There are a few things I said before. I mean, one of them, I'd like people to know Ben Shalom more than what people do, because at the minute they don't know too much about him. And I know it shouldn't be about Ben Shalom, it shouldn't be about Boxer, it should be about the fighters, and that is the priority for Boxer and Ben Shalom. It is. It's not about them, it's about the fighters, it's about the event and all that kind of stuff, which is fantastic. But I think that boxing fans would like to know him a little bit more, rather than outside of an IFL interview and those kind of ones, right? But I hope 2024 is a very successful and productive year for them. And yes, okay, so certain fighters that they've signed and whatever else they've lost. But you know what? Sometimes a fighter loses, and it is what it is, and it's okay. And it's okay for a lot of people. But unfortunately, those who don't like fighters losing or whatever, they will take to social media and rip them and whatever else. See, they're washed, they're no good, they're garbage, or however, okay? That's just the social media era. But ultimately, they are putting their fighters in tough fights. So, of course, when you put them in with tough fights, or at least on paper, then sometimes you're going to come up short. That's just the nature of the beast. So, listen, as I said, I hope that Boxer, Ben Shalom, Sky really put it out the bag. As I said, I think, listen, I don't know this part, but I think, or I get the feeling that they spent a lot of money on the signings that they made, which kind of limited as to what it is that they can do, as in what fights they can put them in and things like that. So hopefully now with, listen, I don't know when their budget comes in, their annual budget, whether it's January, whether it's April, whether it's whatever, okay, I don't know. But whenever it is, hopefully we should start to see them put on a lot more shows. And I think a lot of the shows are very fan friendly as well. They've got good people around them, like Al Siesta, quality lad. I love Al Siesta. He's one of my favourite people in boxing. John Wisherson and that as well. Savage Dan is quality. So listen, I hope that Boxer go on and do some good things in boxing, because it's needed. As I said, hopefully they get on board with this Saudi thing before Riyadh season closes, and of course when it reopens again at the end of October, they can get on board with that as well. It's good because there's quite a few fights that they have that we would like to see Boxer, Sky Sports fighters in, with some Queensberry fighters, in with some Matchroom fighters and others as well. It should never be a promotional versus promotional thing stopping a fight. And now with the Saudi situation, not that we should even need the Saudis, okay, to get the fights that we want, but unfortunately we do. That's where the finances are, okay? But anyway, listen, I hope that they have a great year. I really do. And we need it. Because if they can put on good fight nights, then that's great for us boxing fans. And of course, they'll put pressure on Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn and whatever else. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it all. Yeah, 2023, I saw a long time ago that year, 2023, was going to be a write-off. Okay? Hey, they had a great year when they first came in. And yeah, certain things happened. And a lot of it is down to bad luck. A lot of it's down to other things in that as well. But anyway, let's see what happens in 2024. Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.